I think, Sage, my wife, she worked for a baker in the Bay Area, Eduardo Morel, who, is one of the old guard, classic, sourdough, whole grain, wood-fired bakers in the Bay Area, and has been doing it for a long time. And she, learned the craft from him. And then we moved up here, and she was baking bread, and just kind of giving it away to folks who are living at Midnight's Farm. And somebody mentioned that she should do the farmer's market. So she went down there in August 2011. That's when we moved up here, and had a sellout day. It was just fantastic. All the bread went. She made some scones. They all went, and she met this fellow Captain Kenny, who is now our neighbor, who has a wood-fired oven. He offered his oven to her to bake in, and so she baked in that for some months. And it's sort of at that point that I got interested in this kind of cool wood-fired oven, and started helping out, hauling loaves around and whatnot. And I think, we were, this was 10 years ago now, and I think we were, sort of searching for something to do. As we began developing the craft of our bread together, it became clear that bread as a phenomenon is the distillation of a lot of community practices, agricultural practices, landscape scale changes, and societal sort of practices. And a loaf that's made properly with the proper ingredients has the ability to sort of ripple effect out and affect all of those systems, all of those practices. But we loved its simplicity at the same time. It's just like the most basic food stuff. Sourdough bread you can live on. It has sufficient nutrition to survive on, and so we were both attracted to its sort of systems integration and its simplicity. And at some point, I think we just kind of sat down and made a decision of okay, well, let's make this let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can make this work. And it's been a long and at times perilous journey. I think what we love about bread and about the process is it's a constant teacher. It's always showing us something new, teaching us something new, or making new connections, right? Meeting new people who are into bread or into the grain or into the farming piece of it. But what's cool about this oven, and the whole reason we got it, is because it's wood-fired. And so, around on the side here, I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of a little tight back here, but it's basically a wood stove. And we just keep throwing chunks of island fir in there, and that heats up the whole oven. It's kind of a system of tubes that have been filled with water and then sealed, and the system of tubes wraps around each one of these decks and transfers the heat from the firebox below up into the decks above. So it's a very stable and gentle heat compared to a gas burner where you have a direct fire right underneath your each one of these decks. And the tubes filled with water also give it a good thermal mass. So you throw a bunch of bread into the oven, it draws a lot of heat out of the oven, but the tubes allow it to maintain temperature even as you're pulling bread in and out. And I think for us, moving into this space with this new oven, it was sort of the decision point of, okay, we've been doing this for 8 years. We can't really continue to do it the way we have been doing it. What does it look like? Can we build a space? Can we have an oven that would allow us to do this process indefinitely? And so here we are, 10 years in, making bread.